Dear students, in the first unit, the first poem and the first prose have been taught to you. So, in the last class we saw Two Gentlemen of Verona. Very soon you will be sent the study material, and soon after getting the study material, a worksheet will be sent to you. So, you will have to complete the worksheet. It is otherwise called a test. You will have to do the test within 3 days, and they must be sent to the class teacher. So, today I am going to start teaching you the first supplementary, God Sees the Truth but Waits. The story has been written by Leo Tolstoy. So, let us have some information about the author. He was born in Russia. He was born in 1828 in Russia, and he is well known for his famous literary work War and Peace. And he has written plays and number of philosophical essays, and he died in 1910. Okay, let us get into the story. So, before we get into the story, I would like to give you the characters. We do not have that much characters. Ivan Dmitrich Akisnov, he is a young merchant. The entire story revolves around this merchant and his wife, and he has 2 children, and Makar, the real culprit. Let me explain the story. Even though it has got a very few characters, the story is somehow great. It is about patience. It is about forgiveness. Okay. God sees the truth but waits. Let me tell you the outline story. So, I have already told you that the entire story revolves around the person Ivan Dmitrich Akisnov. So, Ivan decides to make a trip to a fair to sell his merchandise. So, it is happening in Russia. So, the story takes place in Russia, and it is 19th century. Ivan decides, so he decides to sell his goods in a fair because he is a merchant. So, he would like to sell his goods in a fair. So, he decides to take a trip. But when he is about to proceed, his wife tries to prevent him from going there because she has had a very bad dream about the trip. So, she tries to prevent him from proceeding, but he is very determined to take the trip. So, he just simply ignores the words of his wife and he proceeds. But he proceeds and stops at an inn after travelling for some distance. So, after travelling for some distance, he stops his horse at an inn because he has to have some rest. So, in the inn, he happens to meet a merchant whom he knows very well. So, they have tea together and then they stay in rooms next to one another. So, both of them are staying in the same inn. Moreover, he is known to the man Ivan Dmitrich, the merchant. So, the man whom he has met in the inn is known to him. So, next morning he proceeds even before the dawn. So, he does not have the habit of being in the bed for a long time because he has to go to the fair. So, he starts he starts travelling even before the sunlight. But after travelling for about 25 miles, he is stopped by the police, a local police officer. There they inform him that the merchant whom he knows has been found with his throat slit open. So, now he gets into trouble. So, he is questioned by the police and he is informed, Ivan is informed that the merchant whom he knows very well, whom he met in the inn, whom he had tea together in the inn, has been found with his throat slit open. So, he becomes shocked. Now, a bloody knife. So, when the police start searching their bags for some evidence, a bloody knife is found in his bag. So, the evidence is very strong. He is charged with the murder which he has not actually committed. So, he is sent to the prison due to some strong evidence. Even there were some appeals to the higher authorities, but all those were rejected. So, he gets them rejected. even his wife comes to the prison where he is, and even she too starts suspecting him, and it makes him collapsed. And what happens? He is sent to Siberia to work in mines. So there he spends 26 years. He spends 26 years in Siberia. Meanwhile, there is a lot of change in his attitude and character. Actually, when he is younger, he is a very happy-go-lucky person. Now, he has got the tendency. He has become so, he has become so good, and he is very nice to everyone in the prison. So, he is called the saint or the grandfather by the fellow prisoners. Moreover, even the authorities of the prison also consider him to be a good man. So, he spends 26 years there. So, the only thing he does is this: he keeps praying to God, because he knows God is the only thing he can believe. Being good, he is respected. At that time, Makar, actually he is the one who committed the crime. So, another set of prisoners came to Siberia. So, during the queries, Ivan comes to know that Makar is from Vladimir. So, Vladimir is the town where he belongs to. So, Ivan belongs to Vladimir. Even he comes to know that Makar has also come from Vladimir. He starts questioning about his wife and children. So, he says that both of his children are well settled. So, he is very happy, and he becomes so curious. So, Makar comes to know that he is the one he is the one who has spent 26 years for the crime he has not committed, which he has not committed. But he doesn't reveal anything during the question time. But he goes there, and Makar makes an attempt to escape the prison. So, he tries to dig a channel to escape the prison. So, when he is digging a channel, there comes Ivan Dmitrich. Now, he threatens Ivan not to reveal the matter to anybody when he is questioned. So, the police, the authorities come to know that there is something going on there. So, the authorities come and they start the enquiry, and even they ask Ivan whether he knows anything about that. Even though he knows it is Makar who has dug the tunnel, he doesn't reveal the truth. He just stays calm. He has decided not to reveal the truth because he knows he will be flogged. He will be flogged to death. So, he doesn't say anything. Not even a word is uttered by Ivan Dmitrich. So, on seeing this, Makar gets collapsed. So, that night he comes to Ivan Dmitrich and he tells him everything. He tells them the truth. So, he tells him that he was the one who killed the merchant, and he was actually trying to kill Ivan Dmitrich. But as soon as he had heard some sound near the room, he simply escaped, leaving the bloody knife in his bag. So, he confesses his crime. Now, he is guilty. But even at that time, Ivan is not interested. So, he says he has no place to go. So, he says he can't go anywhere because he says his children may have forgotten him. So, he just desires death. But Makar goes to the authorities and he confesses his crime. So, when the authorities come to the room of Ivan to release him, there he is found dead. So, at last he is punished for the crime he has not actually committed, but he has been taken to the heaven by God. So, this is the hidden meaning of the story. So, whatever you do, have some patience, have good attitude, have positivity and never complain. Just be hopeful and you will be getting good results in the future. Thank you students. We will get into the story in the next class.